Okay, so Matthias, we've got these new essays from you. Birth and marriage. Let's see. Experts both in developing and developed countries have debated the negative and positive effects on adults getting married and having children at a later age. However, it is argued that younger parents can easier relate to their offspring. I believe that children growing up in more financially stable households are better off. All right, this is awkward because you've got the aspect of getting married later, and then you talk about having children younger, and then you go back to I don't know, it's just all really confusing. So I would have rephrased this. All right, let me show you how I think it would have been more successfully dealt with. So, experts both in developing and developed countries have debated the negative and positive effects on adults getting married and having children at a later age. So, while it is argued that younger parents can relate to their offspring more easily, I believe that children growing up in more financially stable households are better off. Okay, that's a better way to do it. This essay will discuss both views and examples of high costs to meet children's... No. This essay will discuss both views and examples of the high costs, still awkward, to meet children's '(s) needs, and mumble rap. I'm not sure what mumble rap is. Okay, a quick Google search solved that. I'm not really sure if this is 100% appropriate to write here. You could have maybe talked about generation gap, which might be a little more successful, but before I give you a kind of conclusive response about that, let me see how you developed your essay and see if in fact it is appropriate, okay? On the one hand, it is expected that the majority of 30-year-olds will have succeeded in the first part of their professional careers. In addition, it is even assumed they will have accumulated some savings. You have to change your tense here. This financial stability allows for most of them to create a warm, welcoming environment for children. For example, recent empirical research showed that 70% of parents over 30 years of age in the lower mainland can easily cover all the costs for their children's basic needs like food, clothes, and housing, while only 40% of parents under 30 years of age can comfortably cover those costs. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that it is beneficial for children to be raised by older adults who can provide financial security. Okay? On the other hand, the issue of whether older parents can connect with their sons and daughters grew in the last decade. Consistent with this idea is that rapid changing youth trends like music, gaming, and fashion cannot be fully understood by older adults. Even if one parent is exposed to a new trend, his or her mature way of thinking cannot fully grasp how this affects children's development. For example, mumble rap, the most popular music genre for children at the moment, not the momentarily, is not appreciated by most 30-year-olds because it lacks relatable topics and lifestyles. Consequently, although parents in their early 20s have a capacity to more easily connect with new trends in children, it might be forgotten that financial support plays a crucial role in the well-being of children and youth. Okay, so first of all, this last sentence really is strange to me. I don't know why all of a sudden you're talking about financial support. It was something you talked about in the previous paragraph, so I don't know why you're bringing it up again here. It's not relevant. I had said to you earlier about mumble rap, and what essentially you're talking about is the generation gap. So mumble rap is simply an example of this, and so you might have just said generation gap, which was a little more general and more understandable to the general public. Okay. Let's look at your conclusion, and then I'll tell you another issue that I found with your essay. So to conclude, from careful, the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that getting married and starting a family later in life is a positive evolution. It is believed that in the next 5 years, 60% of first-time parents worldwide will be over 30 years of age. Okay, fine. So the issue that I wanted to bring up was the order of your paragraphs. You said that children growing up in more financially stable households are better off. Therefore, it sounds like you support this paragraph, right? And you even said it in your conclusion. So that means that this has to go here. You have to switch the order of these two paragraphs. This goes first, this goes second, because we always put the paragraph that we support last. Okay, keep that in mind. This will affect your coherence and cohesion score if you do it wrong. Some little grammar things, some little syntax things that were a little strange, but on the whole, fine. Let's take a look at your task 1. The line graph displays the amount of precipitation for 2018 in 3 different countries. You needed something here. Probably a colon would have been best. England, Scotland, and Wales. Overall, England saw the most rainfall. That should be one word. And Wales the least over this 1-year period. Moreover, the highest fluctuations were recorded for Scotland. Okay, that's fine. During the first part of 2018, the least amount of rain was recorded for all 3 countries with 20 ml, 25, and 70 ml for Scotland, Wales, and England, respectively. For Scotland, a remarkable measurement can be noticed when rainfall peaked in March it should have been at 130 ml after only receiving 20 ml in February. Looking at all 3 countries, this was the highest difference recorded when comparing 2 consecutive months. Okay, that's a little... Well, okay, it's fine. In the second half of the year, more rain fell in England and Scotland with an average of around 100 ml, whereas the precipitation in Wales only was an average of had an average of approximately 70 ml. England was overall wetter, except in July, with 10 more in With 10 more in Wales, and in October 10 more. I don't know what that means. I don't know what this whole last sentence means. And to be totally honest with you, I felt like it's a little underdeveloped. Now, you essentially had here 36 pieces of information. I most certainly did not expect or want you to include all of them, but I do feel like what you did include was not a whole lot. So what happened in the second part in this paragraph here is that you gave me an average, which was not a bad idea, but when there's so much fluctuation, I don't really know how meaningful the average is. I'm glad that you separated the year in half, so that was smart. But I really felt like you covered this so briefly and that there was a lot more to say. So yeah, it definitely needed more development as far as I'm concerned. All right, so why don't you go ahead and correct these essays. Go ahead and add to your error correction list. Write us a new set. We're here. We're waiting for them. So let's see what you write, okay? Good luck.